Okay.
and I'm feeling the fullness of that. I'm just it's poison.
So what he's saying is not a negative thing. It's just that, bro, you're not going to be dominant this way. This is one of the ways in which like relationships can make a man softer and weaker and doesn't know it because these are things you. All right, the more things you look for in a relationship with a woman, it makes you codependent on her. So, for example, right now, of course, you want her to treat you well and be respectful to you when y'all are interacting. But in a relationship, you need her to do it way more. You need her to do it on a regular basis. You need her. Let's say if she lives with you, like you need your day depends on her having a decent attitude because if she has a bad attitude, right, or if you guys get into it, that disrupts the entire day. Or because there's always going to be times when you got to bring her back to order, and no matter who she is, everybody got daddy issues, and she always going to want you to be her daddy one way or the other, whether it's problem solving, whether it's putting, you know what I'm saying? If it, well, on a lot of you niggas be dealing with some big chicks, so she can't really get on your lap. And listen, I got love for Big Shirley and Big Coco. I ain't forget where I came from. She just too mean for me. All right, and she too mean to me. Big girls be abusive. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. So hold on now.
Because I always respected your hairline on television.
Anywho, I told my brother some months back when we were talking about the election, and again, I always preface everything with the fact that I'm not super into politics like that. I comment when I feel the need to and whatnot, but I don't really necessarily associate myself with any political party. And we were having this back and forth. And one of the things I always want to point out to all people, right? You need to look at the outcomes, okay, and what somebody wound up with in the end. When people be critiquing Trump's past, right? You gotta look at where he wound up. Fam, he wound up being the president twice. Being the president is like you can't let the fact that, and again, Trump and the Trump hate that really proves how much hate can be blinding. Hate can be blinding to the point where someone may not realize or not be even be able to see what they can learn from someone because you don't like them. And I guess you know what? Me personally, I don't really care. I'm sorry. I've never lived and died on who Donald Trump is and this and that. Black folks, but again, a lot of it has to do with that group mindset, that hive behavior, and a lot of it has to also do with black men in particular really be listening to women. And I don't mean like, oh, listening to her as in like she's expressing herself to you, as in like he looks to her to be his leader because it's easier to take on a woman as a leader because she's easy to look at, right? And you think about getting some booty when you listen to her. It is what it is. That's why guys will listen to a woman. And also that's another aspect of that thing with Marlon Wayans was a few different things. Someone like Marlon, like a man, whether you mean to be that way or not, I'm not saying that he's soft or nothing like that, but that's the kind of man, a guy who's kind of like, easy going like that, or a guy who doesn't have strong boundaries and can clearly define things, or just kind of seem as though he bases himself off of a series of strict codes and principles. Like when you come around me, you get a feel that I'm very grounded, but I'm grounded in something that has substance, right? So that's why I think faith is always like the last touch, or the magic touch, or the finishing. I'm sorry, the finishing touch when it comes to you as a human being because you're grounded in right from wrong. You have your own ideas of right from wrong. And on Six Paths TV, we always talk about right from wrong from the perspective of refining that on an everyday basis. We were never just satisfied with one definition of right from wrong. We work on refining right from wrong on a daily basis. But anyway, so going back to the conversation, right? Yeah, I don't have to agree. And also this whole thing of agreeing that or I can't rock with somebody because I don't agree with everything they say. That's not a relationship. Black people, listen, that's really some leftist shit. It's some leftist shit because it's based off of the liberal mindset of, well, I don't have the strength to make room for other opinions in my mind because I'm too immature and too feeble-minded to make room for other opinions and respect other people. So rather than learning how to accept and respect other people, when it's actually appropriate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fight you about it and create this space where you can't question me, you can't debate me, and you can't have a difference of opinion if you want to be around me, be my friend, right? So what that does is you got to realize that if the women think like that and they're raising the kids, they also raise the men to be the same way. And also, if you growing up in the feminist, what can I say? And cause I always tell y'all, we are dealing with the long term effects and damages, right, of having female leadership and single mother led households, which breeds generations of people who cannot solve their own problems, who think backwards, and also who foolishly think that a woman's gonna lead you to salvation, or a woman can lead you in general. I'm not saying women can't be in leadership positions, but in general, women do not make good leaders because, for one, you can't deal with the weight of your choices. Period. You can't even deal with who you are. You can't even look in the mirror. Even with body count, right? One of the most offensive things you can ask a woman is, what's your body count? Because if it's high, she literally cannot deal with the weight of you judging her off her body count. But she still did the shit though. So that's you not being able to deal with the weight of your choices. Finances. You know some shit I was thinking about, like with my ex. I was thinking about, like, you know what? I just be wondering, how are you able to afford these things? I'm thinking about how much you make at work and how much you make on the side. Like, not that it wasn't adding up. I'm like, damn, like you gotta make. I mean, I will go over the numbers in my head a little bit, 'cause I knew how much her rent was. And I'm like, yo, this don't leave you with like very much like entertainment money. You know what I mean? But yo, I suspect that she probably has some shit that she was hiding from me. You understand? Not only that, like, yo, we would have got married, like all the debt that would come with it. But anyway, but going back to this whole thing about where all the conflation comes from, and also, again, men don't realize that the vulnerability thing, or that notion, again, like, all that shit is meant to put you in a bad spot. It's meant to make you a better, basically, the kind of opponent that she can dominate. Because if you as a man, right, if you feel as though your feelings are really, really important and you want to express them to her and whatnot, you're now in a space where she can beat you. Versus if you, I'm not saying you can't say how you feel. I'm not saying you can't address things, right? But there was no need to let her know that you're scared or you're afraid or what your fears are, or that you're in a bad spot. Because the only thing that happens is it ruins the dynamic. That's not the reason why, like, I'm like, yo, being in a relationship full time, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because again, yo, so much of her having a stable mood or being a stable person can affect the relationship. Because again, if you're around someone who's moody, especially if that person love bombs you, because what happened to me was, like, my ex had love bombed me, and she love bombed me long enough for me to feel like, all right, well, okay, all right, maybe this is different. Then slowly, don't get me wrong, like, she still did everything that I liked and everything, but it was this. She created this. How can I say, this chase? Well, I'm always chasing a previous version of her, which is why I'm saying, like, yo, I think this happens even with the best relationships, because don't get me wrong, I know things are different in the beginning, but I think that in order for y'all to have a good relationship, not that you guys have to act like y'all strangers and that it's all brand new, but y'all both have to put a little effort into keeping shit fresh and keeping it fun. You know what I mean? And that's what I always say. To start fucking is easy. To continue fucking is hard. You gotta fuck as often as possible. All right. Listen, if y'all live together, y'all gotta be smashing about 5-6 days a week. At least 2 weeks out of the month. 2 weeks out of the month, you guys gotta be getting it in 4 to 5 days, and not every day that week. All right. That's a healthy relationship. And again, you ain't gotta have no long session. You know what I mean? Listen, morning time, you go ahead and have you a quick 20-minute session. Just go ahead, wake up, bend over and whatnot, and just start stroking that thing from the back for about 20 minutes and whatnot. Put a little timer on, and y'all go ahead and you get your day going. You know what I'm saying?
Because I always respected your hairline on television.
But anyway, I want to get to what my man Brick said. Now, again, he ain't no bad dude for saying this, but young men do. Don't listen to this nigga, man. You need to trust your homeboys. All right, your girl needs to respect you and respect your leadership. That's the most you can ask for, and even that's going to be a doozy. And that's another thing too. You become codependent on her respect, because it was even when you do get it, you are fighting to keep it every day. Because if you fall off, and which is why that's not a reason why like it's good to meet women the closer you are to 40. Like men are just better in relationships the closer they are to 40, or you gotta be a young man that got mad OGs who would teach you how to be a man so you can manage your goddamn house. Cause listen, young men are not gonna stop getting into relationships. Well, actually, shit. Young men are still smashing, but they not getting with y'all. It is crazy. Anyway, I want to play this real quick. Shout out to Bricks Fitness, and yeah.
So usually what I do is, right, I'll have an idea of what I want to talk to you guys about. But honestly, I just wanted to take this opportunity to reconnect with you guys, like, as my family. I mentioned I've been struggling. There's a lot going on with me mentally and emotionally. And really, I look at that as an opportunity. This is not something that I'm, like, complaining about. Oh, my God, fucking depressed. Like, nah, it's not even that type of energy. What I feel like is God is calling me to elevate. Every time I've elevated, every time I've leveled up in life, there's always this season of darkness that is designed to.
Yo, it's my dream right here to live in the. I don't know. Is that his living room or is that like the area? I think it's the area probably the building. It looks like a share, but that might be his living room. Because listen, Brick's been popping for a long time. I feel like I've been watching Brick since like 2013. All right, he been popping for a long time. Excellent content creator.
Teach me, to show me about me. Show me things that I need to improve and show me things that I need to work on in order for me to handle what God has for me in the next season of my life. And this one just happens to be extra challenging. I wake up with constant negative thoughts. There's all sorts of doubts and fears, you know. And so in one of the most healthy romantic relationships I've ever been in.
Here we go.
Where there's complete space for me to express my emotions freely.
my boy keep a young baddie with him. I'm trying to tell you, my boy keep a young baddie with him, and let's get it.
I've always had to wear a mask in relationships in the past.
Here we go.
It was never okay for me to not be okay. And in this relationship, my girlfriend, she welcomes all of my emotions, right? I don't have to hide them. I don't have to, hide behind this like fake masculine mask. And being that that's the case in the relationship, it's like my subconscious mind, my emotions, they feel like it's okay to come up now. So everything that I've been suppressing for fucking a decade is now coming up. And I'm feeling the fullness of that. I'm just
No, so that means you shouldn't listen to it then, Levi. I'm doing the show. Then don't play that, okay? I'm doing the show. I'm coming, okay?
Somewhere safe for you to have conversations about it. I grew up in the era where men don't cry. I grew up in the era where if you expressed emotions, that was weakness.
So I wanted to address what he said about the whole wearing a mask thing. Now again, he's not really being specific, and that's the thing about what he's saying is that there's so nuanced to it, and he's not being specific about what do you mean by mask. So don't get me wrong, I get what he's trying to say, but we don't really understand what exactly is your problem. And I'm gonna address this whole thing when it comes to mental health. And I think that many need to hear this. And this is one of the consequences. Now, I don't know how close he is with his mom. I'm not saying that Bricks is feminine, whatsoever. But when it comes to those problems he's talking about, right? He's talking about having internal problems. So I'm here mentioning God. So it seems like the brother has his faith in order, right? But if you're still having very negative thoughts and everything, so I'm obviously depression is a condition. Now, this guy, part of his story is he was extremely heavy and he monetized the weight that he lost. So the first time you seen Bricks on screen and everything, Bricks is in incredible shape, and he has all these videos of him being a way bigger guy. So that's what I also learned. Like, yo, fam, this losing weight can really do some crazy looks maxing for you. Like when you're the proper weight, people look completely different when they're the appropriate weight. That's why I'm like, yo, I gotta lose this 40 pounds, yo. Now this weekend now I'm on bull. I've been on bullshit the last couple of days. I got ice cream. Well, shit, bro. I'm a naturally fat person, so it don't take much at all for me to start gaining weight. And get bloated. It don't take much. So me having some ice cream, like a little, I think it's I started calling it gallon ice cream. It's not a gallon ice cream. I got like a quart. It's like a quart and a half of ice cream. It's like the normal thing you get of ice cream. But I never really buy ice cream. But it's my birthday, so that was my gift to myself. I got ice cream, nigga. I got the macadamia nut cookies with the Hershey Kisses and them and whatnot from Stop and Shop. Them Jones is alright. I ain't gonna hold you. Them Jones is cool. You understand? But anyway, what I want to get to is men. You have to get to the bottom of what triggers your poor mental health, right? And because for the most part, mental health is maintenance. Okay, so it's a few things that's gonna always contribute to poor mental health. One is, yo, sugar. You have to bring your sugar down. So me personally, I don't put pressure on myself anymore. I just say right now, shout out to my man Joe. I love how he put this because it was the same thing I was thinking, but I didn't have words for it. He said, yo, I don't put that kind of pressure on my. I think he was saying, yo, I'm not gonna say that I stopped smoking. I'm just not smoking right now. I'm not gonna put that kind of pressure on myself. And what he was saying was he wants to make a shift in life because the idea is to break a bad habit. So, for example, for me, right, and this goes for everybody. At least I don't care. I don't care if it's freezing outside. You gotta get 20 minutes to 30 minutes of sunlight every day. Literally, getting sunlight will help with your mental health. Maintenance, getting fats from eggs and beef will help with your mental health. Maintenance, okay? Not busting a bunch of nuts via masturbation because that also kills mental health. Not having hot ass underwear, low testosterone, all these things. So what I'm saying is that we have. Remember I said before.
You
how,
always wondered why that app didn't exist.
chill out.
Now you can make it.
I didn't.
Meet
I didn't call
Replit
you.
Agent.
I didn't call
Want
you.
a custom workout plan?
I never called
Make an
you.
app for that.
Who-
Have a great idea at 2 a.m.?
I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't call for that ad to come up. Anyway, what I'm getting to is you become these men who cannot solve your own problems because you're not really addressing what's wrong with your mental health, right? And not only that, you don't want a woman to see you in a bad spot. One of the worst things, listen, you need to have your income together before you get with a woman because the worst thing you can go through while in a relationship is having real money problems. Cause that's the main thing that's going to change the dynamic. Also, too, I said before too was the dynamics of the interaction. One of the reasons why you pay for everything is the dynamics because you won't get the same reaction. Same way, yo, she understand. Well, she may not understand. Only when women are in very good shape, they understand, okay, if I start gaining weight, he's going to lose attraction for me. Or if she's the kind of woman who's been around guys who can get attractive women. She knows that, yo, if I gain weight, it will change the dynamic of the relationship. If I stop doing this or stop doing that, then again, I don't know women are as aware of that shit. Because, you got to realize there's no punishment for a woman being a bad cook. There's no punishment for a woman being a bad mother or not even being a good prospect for a mother. There's no punishment for that because men will still have babies with women who are terrible women. Like that's another thing to be I talk about with men is men. Y'all gotta stop having kids with women just based on y'all meeting. Because guys will have a kid, especially black men. Black men will have a kid with a woman because that's his girlfriend, right? And another thing that goes on too is that men are very optimistic about who women are and who they can become, and they think that the same way that people expect a man to keep kind of going up and keep elevating, whether it's just even if it's like a few $1,000s a year. Up until 60 years old, people expect you to keep elevating your income until you're about 60 years old. So there's always an expectation of you to be earning more and getting more, right? Whereas for women, there's not really an expectation of them getting better necessarily. Now, if she happens to level up, it's always a celebration because at the end of the day, men and women, this is different expectations. But going back to the whole dynamic, right? Unless it's an emergency or like you lost a loved one, don't ever cry in front of your girl. All right, because it changes the dynamic. It's just not for her to see. All right, the same way, like, yo, you will be more attracted to a girl. For example, I think I might have smelled my ex gas one time. Whereas like one of my other exes, yo, she'll fart in front of me and whatnot. It wasn't maybe not fart in front of me and whatnot, but like she didn't really try to hide these things from me, or she would tell me about when she did number 2 and stuff like that. Feminine girls lie about pooping. They will just tell you, no, I don't poop. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it will be a whole, when my ex would do number 2, like the last one, it will be a whole secret. I would have to suss it out. I saw, yo, even her stools smell feminine. Like I could tell she used the bathroom, but like yo, she never would stink. I think like one time again, this is it's a natural thing. If you with somebody for a long time, like from time to time, you're gonna smell them or they deodorant might wear out or whatnot. But she would never stink, right? But and that's not by mistake because that adds to the dynamic of the relationship about how you see someone. And as a man, yo, you gotta keep your frame because it's not just for her, it's for you. The more you buy into something is wrong with me, or I'm depressed, or I have mental health problems, or I'm wearing a mask. That's why all these terms, the imposter syndrome, all this shit, man. If you don't man up and just say what's on your goddamn mind, if you don't come up with a plan for yourself to be better, I decided the other day. I said, yo, I'm getting myself on a millionaire program. That means I'm going to make some changes to my life, and I'm going to get totally on this track. Okay, 'cause I'm like, damn, bro, how you supposed to be a millionaire? You doing this, you doing this, you doing that. You understand? Because again, if I want to go to the next level, I got to figure some shit out. I have to be the best I could possibly be. But I also feel like to a certain degree, it's like when a kid falls. I think of when a child falls over and they scrape their hand, and if their parent is there, because of the attention they may get, they may look at their parent and start crying. And it's important for their parent to say, "You okay? It's all right. Go on and get up." And go play. And then realize, yo, you know what? I am okay. I think a big part of how we manage mental health and manage masculinity, right? Masculinity is strength. It's not being stupid. It's not that I'm going to keep suffering. The idea is for me to question what is causing my suffering. What's making me feel this way, and what can I do? That's why your faith is important. I keep telling you, I'm going to support you on your spiritual walk no matter what that is because everything is a spiritual journey. And again, like I said before, I'm not saying that if you're having a problem, you can't talk to your girl about it at all, but you need to have a plan before you even speak on it. And the conversation needs to be more so when she needs to know about things. Don't tell her anything that she doesn't need to know. Like, for example, if y'all live together, if y'all getting ready, you're going to have to move. You got to let her know. Because it's a decision that affects her directly. Stuff like that. But getting into your thoughts and feelings, or if you ever feel as though you losing her or losing respect. All right? Because all these things, what they ultimately do is make you the kind of man that's not going to fight back. When she gets you to thinking, being comfortable, being vulnerable, and your fears, and have you thinking that you guys are friends, and you're friends forever, I don't know. Listen, if y'all have that out there, let me know. But you definitely ain't getting that for no baddie. Most definitely. Rules are a little bit different for baddies. All right? You better definitely hold frame. The same way that the rules are different for baddies when it comes to her appearance. If she really bad like that, yo, if her appearance is the least bit off, if she gains 10 pounds, you gonna notice that shit. Right? If she's someone like if she's submissive and is very catering and whatnot, when she brings the quality of how much she caters to you down, if you really like that, you'll notice it. Right? So the standard is just higher the higher up you go, right? But it's never going to be helpful to you to buy into something's wrong with me because what you basically do is make your personality and a part of who you are is your poor mental health. And that's how we get into my mental health, rather than saying, I choose to win and I create a winning victory. I'm sorry. I start every day off with victory. I start every day off by winning, right? And that's what we got to get to. But anyway, I wanted to play this right here because I thought it was interesting. I think that now he's a little older than me, so he's kind of millennial, kind of Gen X and everything. This is one more thing that has to die with black men in terms of thinking that, because this is based on the idea that you're going to do it together. In this era, this is a recipe for disaster. I hope that this works out for him with his girl and whatnot. But for most of us, especially the average man, if you're making less than $80,000 a year, you will fail this way. I mean, now mind you, this guy makes excellent money. He's done very well for himself. Women will tolerate different stuff from you the better you're doing. Also, handsome cat, in excellent shape and everything. So women will be more tolerant of you. Nigga, if you are overweight and you'll look like mid looking, listen, it's not going to go well. But my overall point is, I want men to, when you address your problems properly. No one's saying you have to lie about anything. But keeping it real with yourself is the most important thing. All right. So for example, like for myself, right, I had to come to grips with the fact that yo, you have started to lean on your vices way more. You're smoking more. You're smoking more. You have way more sugar in your diet. You're having Chinese food every week, like things that you never used to eat. You have on a regular basis now, and you wondering why your weight loss slowed all the way down. For a good year, my weight loss like slowed down. Before I couldn't keep the weight on. My goal back in before 2022 hit, my goal, I'm thinking like, man, if I get down to 270 pounds, because at that point I was 314 pounds. So I'm thinking like, if I get down to 270, man, that's no. Now 270 is heavy as fuck to me. Oh my god, it's heavy. Man, I'm like, shoot, I'm trying to get down to 225, my G. But at one point, being 270 pounds was really far away. Because I was 314 pounds. That's 44 pounds. I was thinking like, damn, if you lose 20 pounds in a year and keep it off, that is a grand achievement. You understand? But anywho, the point I was making was, I had to admit the effect that all these things had on my mental health, and the fact that you have to break these habits. You have to stop doing this in the morning, doing that in the morning. All right, you need to start when you get out the bed. Start